the regime in Tehran is facing an existential fight right now. And so its survival in the short term requires escalation and requires a response. And this is one of the bargaining chips that Iran has, that it's able to influence global energy markets. And if not now, then when? As the regime is on the brink, facing such a massive opponent in Israel and the US now, I think it's just survival mode. Iran is feeling isolated already. It's been hit both through its allied networks, through the axis of resistance over the last year, but now directly by Israel and the US. Iran is in a war mentality right now. This is no longer a regional conflict, but this is war for its leadership, and it's existential, as I say. So whether this, I think Iran is testing these relationships that it's built in the last few years.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe apartments there on 3 different floors. The other building, back in the apartment building here. This was Iran's first.
I mean, there are several ways that this war could go. One way is just a protracted conflict. I think what we've learned in recent history, but just more generally historically, is there's no real such thing as this sort of decisive battle that ends, that results in peace overnight, but rather that conflicts will likely be protracted and could take a long time. And I think one scenario is that you just have this war of attrition. Iran, yes, is by far the weaker partner, but through asymmetrical means, through regional means, would be able to at least disturb and fight for its survival. The reporting of the aftermath of the US strike on the facilities is not conclusive. I think, given the nature of where, particularly Fordo, where it is in the mountains, it will be a very long time before, there would be accurate reports of how much damage there actually was, and whether it was damaged or completely destroyed. We know that there was, the Iranians had expected at some point this scenario and would have certainly had made contingencies for such a scenario, depending on the extent to which they could. The idea of strategic patience, this idea that really, the supreme leader of Iran pushed and the regime pushed for a long time, was just wait things out. Okay, we might get hit, we might have an assassination, but we need to be patient, because over the long run, those types of tactics don't win wars. They might win battles, but not wars. But I think that is being challenged now. It's no longer time for strategic patience. It's time to survive, and survival requires more risks. Survival requires more attacks, and survival basically requires going against some of the sort of standard operating procedures that would have governed the leadership in Tehran for the last few decades.
بزرگ و بصیر هستیم. من خالصانه و صادقانه محضر جنایت از سوی آمریکایی‌ها بودیم. سال 57 در طول